And I skipped ahead a little bit to page 64, where we're going to do some determinatives and the ideogram list. So we're starting with a seated man, which is the first one, which can mean I, me, or my. Then you have a woman, which I think could be Hemet. Then you have Remech, which is people, which is Remech. You got eat, drink, think, feel, or speak. Then you have, right, a man with a hand up to his mouth is eat, drink, think, feed, or speech. Then you have another sort of slumped over man, kind of on his knees, which means weak or weary. Another determinative here, which would be a man with something on his head, which means to lift or carry. Then you have a man with his hands tied behind his back, which could mean prisoner, captive, foreigner, or enemy. Then you have a fallen man. This again could mean enemy or death. You have a picture of a sort of seated figure here, which is a child, an infant, or young. Then you have a man with a stick, which would mean great one, chief, official, or prince. Then you have another figure here of a man with a walking stick, which could mean old age or senior. Then you have another man with a stick in his hand, sort of a striking motion, which means strong strength, effort, or force. Then you have a pregnant woman here. Then you have give birth here. Then this would mean king. Then then they have the falcon here, which would mean nature or king. Then you have an eye, which would mean to see. You have a nose, which would mean your nose to breathe, rejoice, or anger. Then this would be for flesh right here. And let's go back up again. This one is a here determinative, which would mean either hear or mourn. These are feet walking forward, which would mean to walk around. Then you have the feet going backward, which would mean to go back or turn around. Then you have a hand holding something like an egg, which means to offer. Then you have this here, which would mean a phallus, begat, or urine. This symbol here is for tumor, disease, tumor, orders, or disease. Then you have a leg after that, which would mean leg or stride or foot. Then you have the N of negation. Then you have the symbol for determinative for cattle. Then you have the animal hide or mammal. Then this, you have the bird here, which is can mean bird, which means determinative for a bird or an insect. Then you have this here, which I would call a sparrow, or sorrowful sparrow, as I call it, because it means small, weak, or evil. Then you have another duck here, which means flutter or alight. Then you have a fish, determinative. Then you have this could be a snake or a worm. Then you have a tree. Then you have for plant or flower. Then you have a vine or fruit. Then you have wood or tree determinative. Then you have sky or heaven, which I know this word would be pet for sure. Then we're going down again to some more determinatives. This would mean night. This is called a shafidu or papyrus, rolled up for abstract thought. This would be Ra, which would be sun, day, or time. Then you have the symbol here for thought. Then you have the symbol here for thought. Then you have a star, which would be in several different words such as saber or Seba, things like that. Then you have liquid. Oh, liquid. This a correction. This is liquid issuing from lips. Then you have a breast right here. Then you have a road, travel, locality. Then you have land right here. Then you have arms enclosed. Well, then you have this, which means the arms enclosed or embracing. That's what this means here. Then you have these three here, which would mean mu for water. Then you have a desert or foreign country determinative. Then you have the arms holding a one, which would, this here would be in things like gesture, things like that. Then you have a throw stick here, which would mean foreign country or foreign person. Animal of Seth, recumbent. Then you have the Nuit symbol, which would mean town, city, or country, not land. Then you have the lion determinative. Then you have this here, which is called the per determinative, which would be for house. Then you have a panther. Then you have this determinative for door or open. You have the hippopotamus. Then you have the box or coffin, which would obviously be in, things for like dealing with death or things of that nature. Then you have the elephant determinative. Then you have the boat, ship, or navigation determinative. Then you have the sacred bark, which would be like the sacred bark of Ra. Then you have a gazelle determinative. Then you have cloths or linen determinative. Then you have ibex determinative. Then you have this determinative, which is like which means to bind. Then you have a sacred baboon. Then you have a rope or cord determinative. Then you have a monkey determinative. Then you have a knife or cut determinative. You have an ox with a question mark, which could mean things like sejam, you would use that. Then you have the myrrh. Then you have the myrrh hole, which is a hole or cultivate, right? That would deal with love and sort of things. And the head of a leopard. Then you have a break, divide, across. Then you have a falcon. Then you have the archer's determinative, the vessel or anoint determinative, as you see here, crocodile determinative, the bread or cake determinative, the lotus bud determinative, the loaf or offering determinative, the lotus flower determinative, the festival determinative, the mace with pear-shaped head determinative. This would be a royal name. This is like this would be a shenu. So when you see these, you know there's some sort of royal name in it. Then you have the bowl. Then you have the one stroke determinative, which deals with, like, I also call it the literal stroke, because when you see words like Ra and you see this stroke in it, it would literally mean like the sun. Then you have the hour determinative. Then you have the plurality. It could be three strokes, three horizontal or three vertical strokes, plurality. Also, you see the three dots. Then you see the sickle. Then you see this is a determinative for fire. Right. Difficult to draw signs of things. Then you have a calculator break. Oh, then you have a cup, two diagonal strokes, which would mean duality. So we're going on to the definite the article, the definite article the, and the indefinite article a and n were as a rule omitted by the scribes of Kemet during the Old and Middle Kingdom periods. Therefore, Senet can be rendered as a sister, the sister, or simply sister, in its correct context that determines which translation is most appropriate. So here are some examples. Meswu Menha, the perfect king. Sa Nesu, the eldest son. Swu, Sawu, we're at the greatest seat or throne. Then you have Pasejet, which would deal with like the nine Neteru, the nine principal Neteru. Then you have Tepi, which would be the first time or the moment of creation. Wadit Tepet, the first campaign. So we're gonna stop here right now and like and subscribe, thumb up the video.